Yeah, I want to go over something. Actually, I got a lot of these extras of these knives from Bud K or CH Cadell. $10, you know, and they're good to get for like a beater knife. Honestly, people say, "Yeah, that's not real survival knife" or whatever. I'm going to tell you a couple things on them, but you really get you two knives with it. This is a cheap Skinner knife, but actually it's about right for a Skinner because you only use from here to there. These were unused, and I think I bought about 8 of them, 8 or 10 of them, because they're $10. Now, the reason I'll tell you what's wrong with them and how you can improve them, though. But what's right about them is this: $10 for 2 knives. It's Auss-8 stainless steel, and that's pretty good stuff, man. That's not bad stuff. It's not cheap. It's pretty hard to sharpen, especially with this edge going, you know. That's why, I'm going to tell you, some people say, these damn things are no good, but with an edge like this, that is, you know, it's not a straight edge, it's got an angle going this way and that way. These pull-through sharpeners are nice. Lansky. This one also has the little thing for doing the serrations. I really don't have a problem with pull-through sharpeners because, you know, I think the people that really got to get fine-tuned with the knives and using the sharpening stones and the steel, well, to me, that's not even the guys that are woodsmen. I mean, or somebody's, especially if you're a mechanic, man, you don't care about getting that blade that sharp, because most of the time you're either cutting a rubber hose or you're cutting a wire, stripping some insulation off for a wire, you're scraping off some gasket material, cleaning battery terminals, and I mean, God, why, you know, if you're going to be using a knife like that, you don't care about, you know, if you're a chef in the kitchen, yeah, okay, that's different, you know. I mean, I notice people get to the nth degree on this knife sharpening garbage. Those things are good, especially with a blade. It's got a funny shape like this. Now, what's wrong with these, and I can tell you how I did all of them. I fixed all of them. Now, this says it's full tang, and I can't take this apart because I already made it, so I JB welded it all together. When I took this apart, I chemically cleaned everything, roughed it down. I put a bunch of JB weld in there, torqued it down, and you know, it's like this handle. The plastic part of the handle, whatever the heck it is, with metal, is all attached to the blade itself. The blade actually goes up to here, and they call it full tang. What they did was they welded like a bolt onto the blade. Then they used this screw to get onto the bolt. So they technically call it a full tang. But when you put it all together with JB Weld and it's all one piece, hey, it's not weak. It's not even weak as it is, as long as it doesn't come loose. It ain't coming loose with JB Weld. So it's a good freaking knife. For $10, you know, it's got these serrations. I was surprised. They cut wood pretty damn good, man. It's not really, I don't know what the hell they're made for. They look kind of, you don't really need to sharpen these, man. But they'll cut some wood. You'd be surprised. It's not as good as like a camp saw, but it's not that bad. The other thing I did on all of them is this. You know, they got this thing where it pushes through and then you got your belt loop. I was thinking, God, you know, if you're busting through the brush or something like that, if this pulls out, yeah, that is so, you know, because there's all these little twigs that catch things. A twig will catch that and pull this out. I put like a zip tie in there, and I says, this can't pull out, where this can push open, and then this unhooks, and then it falls off your belt. You know, you do not. So I have it like with this, when you added this little zip tie, right, onto there, drilled a little hole, on the end of the tab here. So this can't pull out. This can't pull out, where this can lift up and separate. So it's like a permanent loop. This also has the lanyard to tie it to your leg, and it has all these things to tie it to your, if you want to have it on your backpack. And the other thing I did is I drilled a hole in the bottom here, because actually when the blade sits in here, you see, I think like a mechanic, you know. I mean, it's not even like a wood. It's like common sense stuff, man. I always try to look for where things can fail and get to the problems that I think might occur before they are a problem. So you look at how far down does the blade go in. It goes in about that far. So I drilled a hole, not exactly. Well, it depends on which way you put it in. I guess it would. But if this thing gets water in it, it's stupid having a drain hole over here. You know, this whole bottom piece would fill up with water, even though this is stainless steel. This hole, you know, it just makes it fill up with water and crap, so or whatever. So there's a little hole down here, so it can drain out. And with this hole being, the part where, it doesn't have to, like, in other words, if you got a hole on the bottom of something so it can drain, you want a hole on the top. Well, if you got this locked in here, there's not really a hole on the top, so you can allow it to drain out the bottom, but you do have this hole, so it'll drain out. So that's one good thing, Well, let's discuss something with, when you're building these AR lowers, I always like to do is put them in a white. I know some people, I don't know what people do, but to me, this is a beauty. Get one of these. It could be different color than white, but white is like it shows up, the parts show up really good. So you're working with these parts. So you're putting in, your trigger, your sear, and that spring that goes on it from the sear to the trigger. And the spring is also, you got your spring that goes on this down below that thing. I don't know, I can't sure can show it. There's a spring right under that, right up in there. And there's a spring on the trigger, the spring on the hammer, and that's like the first step, And then you also got your pin. In other words, all these little parts, right? When you're doing this, you can drop the part. So if you're working inside this white container, and I don't know if you need this. I mean, I don't use the towel. I just got it out here. I mean, you don't need the towel. It just falls right in the container, which makes it a lot easier that you don't lose something. I was surprised in this one kit they freaking forgot not a very tiny part. It was actually one of the pins for the trigger and the hammer. They're both the same pin. They forgot one of them. This one's probably going to be an AR-47, the 7.62 by 39. But the American lightweight version, you know what I mean. It's a good all-round thing. I kind of like that. It's a 30 cal, I put this on here, cute thing, But when you're working out of this plastic bin, it makes it a lot easier. If you drop a little part. That's what I think a lot of problem with people when they do these. They forget. It's a simple little detail, right? I'm just kind of telling you. I mean, it's common sense to me. If you're looking at this, you're thinking, hey, yeah, that's a good idea, right? I don't want to force a Southern accent. I'm using Southern common sense. I want to be a fake and make a fake accent here, but I'm up from New Jersey, but I've been down south a long time now. I've been out of New Jersey a long time too. But you know, I've always had redneck common sense, even though I work in an office pretty much all the time. I always kept one foot in the redneck thing. And I also want to make a side note. You know, I get a lot of remarks about my 78 El Camino. They go, oh, they're worth a lot of money if they're fixed up. And this is my 78 El Camino, which people know, subscribe to my channel. I just post a little bunch of doing. I got to do some stuff to this. I got to put the cam in it, clutch, and the flywheel and all that crap, you know. But, you know, I'm thinking, what do you mean it's worth a lot of money to freaking fix it up? What do you do? Take it to a car show? I put stuff in the back of this thing. I use it like a truck. If I was going to be playing around just driving to a car show, I wouldn't own this stupid thing. Get it? And if you're thinking I was going to sell it, what am I going to do? Go to like some glitzy freaking vacation down in Disney? Go to some restaurants? And have a big extravaganza at Atlantic City? Now, are you freaking out of your mind? No way in hell. But that's usually the kind of people that make those stupid remarks. So, I don't care about that, man. I've had this for since August of '91. So, that's 27 years I've owned this thing. So, and it's a 4-speed. But there's my Dixie horns, and they work. It's like freaking playing those things every time I take it out. I just take out the little Suzuki over there, and I was hitting them Dixie horns. I was just hauling some trash. And just having some fun with those things. But yeah, I can tell you one thing. The practical side of things is kind of lost with a lot of people, and you know, keep that, put an extra thing on there so they don't rub through, and that's the whole side. That's the whole thing. You know, is it worth it for the money? This knife is definitely worth it for the money. It's a little heavy, man. It's kind of like a chopper too. It's a little bit bigger than you need. Actually, to tell you the truth, the thing. It's a pretty impressive knife. I think one of my best knives is not the regular K-bar, not the Big Brother K-bar, but the smaller K-bar with the partial serrated edge, the small one, kind of like the 7-inch survival knife. That's about the right size. That's all you freaking need. To tell you the truth, you're better off taking a hand axe with you than a freaking knife for most situations. But I always got a knife on me too, right here on my boot. See? So I don't take it out with this hand, but serrated edge. It's a cheap tack force. It's like $7. But I was surprised of all the tack. I don't usually close it lefty either, but of all the tack forces I've owned, this particular brand, this particular model, it's pretty solid, man. I got a bunch of these things too, and I use the snot out of them. But I always make boot pouches for my stuff, you know, so I can put them on my boot. You know, in Florida, you wear shorts and wear boots because it's freaking hot. I don't know what the media thinks about wearing freaking these boots. I tell you what, these are. I got so many boots left over for the military from over 20 years ago. I was in. They're still good, man. That's how many pairs of these damn things I got. I mean, I wore some of them out, but I stockpiled like crazy on these damn things, and I did buy another pair used. But you know, that's the whole point. Stockpile on this stuff now while it's cheap. Who the hell knows what's going to happen with the trade imbalance with China? And build your lowers while you can. The next ones, I'm going to tell you, the next ones I do, they're not going to be black because I think they don't like the black colored rifle. They're going to be Confederate gray. And you're going to have let's see. See this flag I'm wearing here on my pin, on my lapel pin? I'm going to grind a little stud off the back of this flag, so, and then roughen up on the back here, right? And then, you know, chemical clean this, and we're going to use some of that 3M quarter panel adhesive, part number 08115, and we're going to have that sucker as an emblem on a gray receiver, black handle, black. You're going to be like that with gray. I think that's how the next ones are going to be done. Most of them are going to get done. I don't think I want to do the 5.56s. I want to do the 7.62 by 39. Use that cheap Russian steel case garbage, so you don't have to reload it. You know, 30 cal is a freaking great deer round, man. You know, I mean, I'm not playing tactical. I'm actually kind of thinking about getting some high protein meat to get out of this freaking area down here that's turning into, I mean, I'm doing my part to keep it freaking free, you know, but it's turning into one big golf course with a bunch of freaking phonies driving around golf carts, you know, I'm trying to hold it back. I don't know if I'm going to be, I'm only one guy, man. So, you know, I'm going to be abandoning this hill here pretty soon, heading up to North Georgia. That's what I think. And I'll be doing, I'm definitely keeping that land up there in Tennessee. Definitely, man. It costs nothing to maintain it. There's going to be a steel cabin off-grid on that sucker. So it ain't going to be where I got to put a lot of money into it. But I'm probably going to get something already, you know, done up in Georgia, not in a homeowners association with amenities and no, none of that garbage, man. I got too many cars and stuff around here, man. I got, you know, I'm one of them northerners from yeah, I just put this up, man. Let's hear Dixie Motor Oil. I love that one. That's a nice one. Right under my Cooter's garage. I'm starting to get some pretty good energy now after getting over that flu for a few days I had there a little while ago. Still was a little tired yesterday, even the day before I was still kind of woozy. And I drank a lot of water. I said, oh, that's what the problem was. I wasn't drinking enough water. Dehydrated. Yeah, so I drank a bunch of water. I started, hey, I feel pretty good now. But, let's see. Let's see. Anyway. Got one up down here. And we got our Army of North Virginia over here. So, flying proudly by the old 78 El Camino. So, I ain't gonna do too much work to this thing. I mean, I know I could sink a shitload of money into it, but I want to do that camshaft and camshaft lifters, and that's why I was holding off on doing the timing gear and the timing, you know, the timing gears and chain, because I was thinking it does need a camshaft. I think it's got a flat tappet cam in it. It's a you know small block Chevy Generation 1, and probably over the years I probably didn't use flat tappet cam oil all the time, and that's probably why it's losing some power. It's got a little bit of a lumpy idle. I think it's got some fairly rounded out lobes. And the last time I put a clutch in this thing, I think it was 1993. I definitely got my money's worth out of it. I put it in myself, but it's time for a new clutch, pressure plate. I did the throw-out bearing and a pilot bearing, but that all needs to get done. And plus a new flywheel. So I'll be changing that garbage too. Anyway, over now.